Hello and a very warm welcome to the brand new edition of Parliament This Week, your weekly roundup of all important developments in Parliament. I'm Priti Mishra and now let's begin the show. And first, Union Education Minister Ramesh Pokhriyal Nishank called on Vice President of India and Chairman of Rajya Sabha M. Venkaiah Naidu on Thursday. Pokhriyal briefed him on the new education policy 2020 announced by the government. Vice President expressed happiness over this visionary policy and called it a major step forward to enhance access to quality education to all our children and youth. Chairman Naidu also said that focus of NEP 2020 on ethics and human and constitutional values would go a long way in the creation of an enlightened citizenship essential for deepening our democratic roots.
Education Minister Ramesh Pokhriyal Nishank handed over a copy of the policy to Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu, along with a note highlighting the salient features of NEP 2020. Welcoming the emphasis on a holistic, learner-centered, flexible system that seeks to transform India into a vibrant knowledge society, Vice President Naidu said it rightfully balances the rootedness and pride in India as well as acceptance of the best ideas and practices in the world of learning from across the globe. He expressed happiness over the importance given to the mother tongue at primary level in the policy. The Vice President also noted that diversity and respect for the local context as well as recognition of the importance of India's classical languages will undoubtedly give learners a holistic world view. The Vice President also expressed satisfaction that the new policy reflected his conviction that there should be no imposition and no opposition to any language. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
And Vice President of India M. Venkaiah Naidu has wished the people on the auspicious occasion of Eid al-Azha.
In a message on the eve of the festival, the Vice President said Eid al-Zuha is a celebration of unswerving devotion to God and the boundless compassion and love the Almighty has for His creation. The festival inspires us to inculcate empathy, practice sacrifice and promote peace and universal brotherhood. As India and the world continue to fight a relentless battle against the spread of COVID-19, we have been forced to celebrate almost all of our traditional festivals, which were otherwise celebrated with great splendor at home in a more subdued manner. Under these circumstances, we have to be content with a modest celebration and strictly adhere to the safety protocols of wearing masks, practicing physical distancing and maintaining personal hygiene during all our celebrations.
Moving on, Chairman of Rajya Sabha M. Venkaiah Naidu on Thursday voiced concern over the delay in handing over possession of 8,700 square meters of land allotted to Rajya Sabha Secretariat way back in 2003 at R.K. Puram in New Delhi. Chairman has asked the Secretary Housing and Urban Affairs to undertake a comprehensive review and coordinate efforts for expeditious resolution of all issues.
At a meeting held to review the status of the issue, the chairman directed the officials concerned to initiate appropriate and urgent action to get the land cleared of encroachments. While 8,700 square meters were allotted to the Rajya Sabha Secretariat, around 4,384.25 square meters were occupied by different organizations, including 3 NGOs. In addition, 1,193.54 square meters are occupied by unauthorized juggis that have come up on the land. Chairman Naidu noted that there have been inordinate delays and urged that steps be taken to resolve all outstanding issues, including pending cases in the High Court. The chairman was keen that once the land is handed over, the construction of Rajya Sabha TV and the long-awaited residential quarters for the Rajya Sabha Secretariat staff could commence, thereby bringing in substantial savings to the exchequer. He noted that 1.25 crore rupees has been incurred by Rajya Sabha towards the cost of the land and relocation of slums way back in 2003 itself. The chairman pointed out that Rajya Sabha TV used to pay an annual rent of 30 crore rupees earlier and it was now reduced to 15 crore rupees after he took up the issue with the New Delhi Municipal Council. He observed that even 15 crore rupees was a heavy and avoidable financial burden. The chairman has also directed Rajya Sabha Secretariat to take necessary steps to resolve legal impediments. Senior officials of the Rajya Sabha Secretariat, Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs, Delhi Urban Shelter Improvement Board, Land and Development Office and Legal Counsel were present at the meeting. Kriti Mishra's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
BJP MP Shiv Pratap Shukla has been appointed as chairman of the Ethics Committee of Rajya Sabha. The Ethics Committee is in charge of reviewing complaints against the behavior and activities of MPs. The committee also tenders advice to members from time to time on questions involving ethical standards, either suo motu or on receiving specific requests. Take a look.
A parliamentary bulletin stated that BJP MP Shiv Pratap Shukla has been appointed chairman of the Ethics Committee of Rajya Sabha. Chairman Rajya Sabha Venkaiah Naidu recently appointed 3 other members of parliament in the Ethics Committee: Tiruchi Siva of TMK, Dr. K. Kesava Rao of TRS, and YSR Congress Party's V. Vijay Sai Reddy. The Ethics Committee of Rajya Sabha has 11 members, including the chairman. Apart from the 4 newly appointed members, MP Anand Sharma of Congress, MP Ram Gopal Yadav of Samajwadi Party, MP A. Navneet Krishnan of AIA-DMK, MP Derek O'Brien of TMC, MP Ramchandra of Janata Dal United, and MP Prasanna Acharya of BJD are also part of the committee. Under Rule 290, the committee has the following functions: oversee moral and ethical conduct of members, prepare a code of conduct for members, and suggest amendments or additions to the code from time to time in the form of reports to the council, examine cases concerning the alleged breach of the code of conduct by members, as also cases concerning allegations of any other ethical misconduct of members, and tender advice to members on questions involving ethical standards either suo motu or on receiving specific requests. Rule 297 of the Rules of Procedure and Conduct of Business in the Council of States provides that for any member who has indulged in unethical behavior or has contravened the code or rules, the committee may recommend any of the following sanctions, including censure, reprimand, suspension from the council for a specific period, and any other sanction determined appropriate by the committee. This is Kriti Mishra's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
And Shiv Pratap Shukla is also the new chief whip of the BJP in the Rajya Sabha. He spoke to RSTV on a host of issues, including the role of chief whip of a party in parliament. Take a look.
किस तरह से फंक्शन या रोल है जो चीफ विप का, उसको आप किस तरह से देखते हैं?
देखिए, चीफ व्हिप का जो रोल होता है महत्वपूर्ण इस दृष्टि से भी हो जाता है कि दल की जो भी कार्यवाही दल के अनुसार होती है उसमें उसको कैसे मेंटेन किया जाए, कैसे विपक्ष के लोगों के साथ जो है सहयोग किया जाए, कैसे अपने सदस्यों को समय समय पर उसको प्रोजेक्ट किया जाए, कैसे उनको ये बताया जाए कि कब कब किस स्थिति में आपको हर समय सदन में रहना है। तो ये सब बातें जितनी होती हैं, जिसके नाते कभी नए सदस्य होते हैं जिनको नई जानकारी होती है, तो उनको सब कुछ बताने का दायित्व चीफ व्हिप का होता है। चीफ व्हिप के साथ कई व्हिप होते हैं जो विभिन्न प्रदेशों के दृष्टि से रहते हैं, और ये लगता है कि वो अपने अपने प्रदेश के सदस्यों को जानने वाले रहते हैं, तो उनसे हमेशा वो ऑन टू ऑन करते रहते हैं, बात करते रहते हैं। तो ये एक पैनल हो जाता है चीफ व्हिप के साथ व्हिप्स का मिला करके। और चीफ व्हिप ये सभी जो संसदीय कार्य मंत्री होते हैं, नेता सदन रहते हैं, इनके संपर्क में हमेशा रहते हैं, और इन प्रकार के कोई तुरंत का निर्देश अगर रहता है तो वो तुरंत त्वरित दृष्टि कैसे हो सके, ये सब बहुत विशिष्टता होती है, जिसके नाते उसका महत्व रहता है। और मैं मान करके ये चलता हूँ कि संसदीय व्यवस्था में चीफ व्हिप दल के प्रति और सदन के प्रति, दोनों के प्रति बहुत अधिक उत्तरदायित्व निभाता है।
Chairman Venkaiah Naidu has expressed his anguish over instances of stigmatization of COVID-19 patients and denial of dignified farewell to people who succumbed to the virus. He said such incidents were totally uncalled for and urged the local communities and the society at large to prevent the recurrence of such happenings. In a Facebook post, Chairman Naidu said, and I quote, "The need of the hour is to fight prejudice and nip it in the bud. Otherwise, it can become more toxic than fake news and misinformation," unquote. Urging everybody to treat COVID-19 patients with understanding and empathy, he said, and I quote, "It should be remembered that nobody is totally safe and that invisible virus can infect anybody," unquote.
Don't stigmatize COVID-19 patients, Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu has said in his latest Facebook post, reminding everyone that the need of the hour is to fight prejudice against patients. He said India has been known as the land of tolerance and such behavior is against age-old Indian traditions. I get anguished whenever I come across instances of ill treatment or harassment of COVID-19 patients or health workers who caught the infection in the line of duty. The need of the hour is to fight prejudice and nip it in the bud. Otherwise, it can become more toxic than fake news and misinformation. Everybody must treat COVID-19 patients with understanding and empathy and not stigmatize them. It should be remembered that nobody is totally safe and the invisible virus can infect anybody. Vice President Naidu also expressed anguish over cases where people have opposed providing burial space for those who died of coronavirus. Lack of awareness among the people of the basic fact that a dead body is not likely to transmit the virus and will not pose additional risk is causing fear and anxiety. However, necessary precautions in accordance with the guidelines issued by the health authorities need to be taken while handling dead bodies. The Vice President urged health authorities and media to create awareness among people. He expressed hope that India can overcome the situation by acting collectively and responsibly. He also urged the people to support the dedicated and untiring efforts of COVID warriors. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
And Vice President of India and Chairman of Rajya Sabha Venkaiah Naidu emphasized the need to teach children on how to navigate through the misinformation and fake news that infest the media landscape, especially the new media environment these days. Addressing over 200 young participants at the Times Scholars event through video conferencing, Vice President asked them to develop the ability to analyze and courage to accept the truth and discard the lies.
The Vice President asked children to develop the ability to analyze and courage to accept the truth and discard lies. He also expressed disappointment over erosion of the reading habit among children.
Circumstances also demand that we teach them to navigate through all the misinformation and fake news that infest the media landscape, especially the new media environment today. Like the legendary bird, the Hamsa, our children must be able to assimilate and absorb the truth and discard the lies. I am certain that initiatives like the Times Scholar will certainly help mold a generation of scholarly youngsters who read to broaden their horizons, raise their aspirations, and discover that reading and learning can be truly pleasurable activities.
Observing that COVID-induced disruption in academic schedule has caused anxiety and stress among many students, the Vice President advised them to not get disturbed by events that are beyond one's control. He also advised students to practice yoga regularly to improve their physical fitness and also overcome stress and anxiety.
For instance, the pandemic-led disruption in the academic schedule must have caused anxiety and stress among many students. It is in such circumstances that one should remain imperturbable and not get disturbed by the events which are beyond one's control. All of you are young and need to develop a strong emotional quotient and the ability to weather ups and downs in life.
Rajya Sabha Chairman M. Venkaiah Naidu has been holding detailed discussions on various options for conducting the proceedings of Rajya Sabha during the ensuing monsoon session of Parliament. Rajya Sabha Chairman Venkaiah Naidu and Lok Sabha Speaker Om Birla have also met earlier, and the two presiding officers discussed a new option for accommodation of members of Parliament in conformity with the norm of physical distancing during the ensuing monsoon session of Parliament. And Secretary General of Rajya Sabha, Deep Verma, spoke to RSTV about the upcoming monsoon session of Parliament. Here are the details.
A very important question. How do you see the ensuing monsoon session panning out?
Well, ensuing monsoon session will be held, because in any case it has to be held before 23rd of September as per the constitutional requirement. We, as I told you, that the exercise that we have been doing as to find out as to how many people can sit in the Rajya Sabha chamber, how many people can sit in the galleries, and how do we actually, if there is spill out, how many people they can be accommodated somewhere else, and how can the two places be connected if the physical meetings are to be held, or if a digital meeting is to be held. So, that decision is almost taken, and we are ready with all our arrangements. So, it will be held, it will be held in time. There is some delay, but there is no denial of the session.
And of the 61 members elected to Rajya Sabha, 45 made oath or affirmation on July 22nd. Speaking exclusively to Rajya Sabha TV, Rajya Sabha Secretary General Deep Verma said that extensive electronic material will be provided to the newly elected members to provide a comprehensive account on the working and conduct of Rajya Sabha and parliamentary committees. Here's a detailed report.
In an exclusive conversation with Rajya Sabha television, Rajya Sabha Secretary General Deep Verma said that newly elected members will be apprised about the rules, procedures and conduct of the House. Rajya Sabha Chairman M. Venkaiah Naidu had earlier urged the new elected members of the House to uphold rules and procedures while discharging their duties as lawmakers for the country.
The new members are generally very receptive. When they come here, they are initially at least very receptive to whatever is explained to them or whatever is told to them, and therefore, the Honorable Chairman chose this occasion to emphasize upon them that they should believe in not disrupting the House, but in proceeding, in participating in the activities of the House. He referred to several publications of the Rajya Sabha to which they should go through. They should also read the debates which have taken place in the House, and also see what the role of the Rajya Sabha is, what the role of Lok Sabha is. They should know everything, and this was actually taken very spiritedly by the members of the House.
Secretary General Verma also highlighted the elaborate arrangements made by the Rajya Sabha Secretariat, keeping in view COVID-19 induced social distancing norms during the oath-taking ceremony of newly elected or re-elected members of the upper house.
Oath-taking ceremony was unique and first of its kind, and this was to be held during this COVID days, and it was a challenge for the Secretariat. Eventually, 45 members came and took oath in the House. The oath was taken inside the House, and every bit of the social distancing norms were followed. After oath taking, they used to go around the chairman from his back, first greet him, then go at the back, greet other members, and then sign, and then again greet, and then go to the seats. So, this time we sort of requested them not to do this, and so they had to take the oath, greet the chairman from that position itself, sign, and then greet the members from there itself, and then go to their seats. So, social distancing norms were followed.
Verma also said that deliberations are underway about methods of holding the ensuing monsoon session of Parliament. Kriti Mishra's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
And in some other news, Empathy Conclave 2020 was organized by the Institute of Liver and Biliary Sciences and Airports Authority of India in Parliament House on the occasion of World Hepatitis Day. Lok Sabha Speaker Om Birla said that hepatitis is a very serious challenge that can be overcome only with collective effort. Present on the occasion, Health and Family Welfare Minister Dr. Harshvardhan said that the preemptive and proactive measures have helped in controlling the spread of COVID-19 pandemic in the country. He said the coronavirus fatality rate has reduced to 2.25% and most cases are largely asymptomatic. He also said that it is important to create awareness about the high risk of morbidity and mortality faced by the people with diseases like diabetes, obesity, fatty liver and chronic liver diseases.
और सरकार ने, राज्य सरकारों ने भी इसके लिए व्यापक प्रयास किए हैं, जिसका परिणाम हमने काफी हद तक रोकने का काम भी किया है और कैसे इसके प्रभाव को कम किया जा सकता है, इसके लिए भी हमारा प्रयास लगातार चल रहा है। मुझे आशा है कि भारत सहित विश्व भर के वैज्ञानिक इस पर शोध कर रहे हैं और बहुत जल्दी इसकी वैक्सीन भी विकसित हो जाएगी, ऐसे संकेत हमें मिल रहे हैं। और इस बीमारी ने का प्रभाव एक लंबे समय तक रहेगा, हमारे सामाजिक जीवन पर भी, आर्थिक क्षेत्र में भी लंबे समय तक इसका प्रभाव रहना है। लेकिन इस सब के बाद भी मेरा दृढ़ विश्वास है कि मानव जाति में आपदा और समस्याओं से लड़ने की असीमित शक्ति है, ऊर्जा है और संकल्प है।
लिवर के बारे में उन्होंने जिस प्रकार से कहा कि ये एक प्रकार से शरीर की आत्मा है और शरीर के अंदर सारी जो महत्वपूर्ण गतिविधियां हैं वो लिवर के अंदर ही उनका संचालन होता है। और आज भी जब कोविड के युग में कोमॉर्बिडीज की बात हो रही है, तो डायबिटीज और ओबेसिटी की बात हो रही है, उसके साथ में लिवर की बात हो रही है।
So that's all I had for you in this edition of Parliament this week. Thanks for watching and stay tuned to Rajya Sabha Television.